the Dolphins. Let's go. Get to the stadium, to the parking lot, Jet Lounge tailgate over in the F lot. Anthony's there, the DJ's there, Sack's there, Benny, Happy. We had a good time. We cooked up some burgers, we cooked up some cheesesteaks. What else was on their grill there? Benny, you remember the sausage, and had some Happy Dads. Then played some cornhole. We just hung out, threw the football around. It was a good time, man. The tailgate was fun. We had some good food. The music was pumping. We had some of our merch table out there. We had some people walking around doing some of their own, cheerleaders and stuff. They were doing, their own collecting stuff. So they were there. We had a lot of people pop through the tailgate. We had a good time. It was beautiful out. And then next thing you know, it's game time. We go inside. Benny invited me to the field. We got to carry the American flag and spread that out for the national anthem. So that was really cool and special for me. Get on the field for the Miami Jets rivalry they've been on the field for, and hold the American flag to do the national anthem. That was really cool. So thank you again for that, Benny. The experience was cool. Then we go to our seats, and great seats. Me, Zach, Benny, Crystal, and the rest of the 100,000 people in this stadium were intense. We had the chant. That stadium was rocking with that. It was loud. And we had so many plays where we're in the backfield, and this kid Zach turned to me after like the first drive, and he said, "This kid's not that good." I said, "Zach, I think we got this 1-0. Let's go. We got this 2-0, 5-0." So it was electric. So if you guys want to tell me what you thought about the game, we can go BS a little bit about Sunday, and then we'll get into the Packers stuff. But so how's everybody doing tonight on this beautiful Saturday afternoon, evening, morning? I don't even know what time of the day of the show I'm on this week, but it's Saturday night, and we got the flight plan, and we're going to go against the Packers this week. We're going to be going into enemy territory, playing against the Hall of Fame quarterback, and I think we could come away with something. We had a special game last week with Breece Hall. I just can't stop thinking that we had this guy on our team. We have Breece Hall on our team, guys. Like, this guy's going to be something. I feel that way. Breece played a great game. John Franklin Myers played a great game. Quinnen played a great game. I got to hang out with John Monday night. And that was awesome. Coming off of one of his best games he's ever played in against a division rival that I personally asked him, get us a division win, please. We're dying for one. And him to come through on it, and I get to see him the next day and shake his hand and say, "Thanks for coming through on that, buddy." It was special. Special for me for the moment 4 o'clock was around and we beat the Dolphins and getting that win. And even more special that the guy who helped do it was there saying, "We got you with that one, man." So with that, I'm going to open up the floor. And I want you guys to let me know what you thought about Sunday's game or what you think is going to happen tomorrow. Zach, what's up, bro? I didn't see you popping in here.
What's up, Justin?
What's going on, man? Out in the town tonight? Or,
what?
Are you a man out on the town tonight?
No, I'm a man that just came back from being on the town. Came back early. But it's gonna be exciting tomorrow. The last game was awesome, as you just mentioned. As for the Breece Hall, we've been saying it since, I don't know, August, July. Kept saying this guy could turn out to be one of the best running backs we've ever had. I'm glad that it's happening. There's a lot of people that said Sauce was, these guys, all rookies, all good guys, all playing up to their potential, and they're just going to get better and better, which is scary in a way. And it's scary in a good way. I know what we said, Justin. We're like, when we watch the games this year, even if we lose, there's going to be a lot of oohs and ahs between Garrett Wilson and Breece and all these guys. So it's going to be fun regardless. But tomorrow's a big opportunity. If you knock off the Packers, it's funny. I've seen that. If we beat the Packers and the Giants win, we're the second seed in the AFC.
Wow.
If the Giants win, I think it was the Giants win, we win, Giants win, And yeah, I think that's what it was. If we win and the Giants win, we'd be the second seed in the AFC, if you can imagine that.
Well, who are the Giants playing? Oh, I have it in front of me.
Baltimore.
Aren't they playing the Ravens?
Oh, the Ravens.
Yeah.
That's right. And I think obviously too. Sack. We'll get a little silly with it, but Giants win, and Buffalo loses. We're in first place in our division too. If we win,
Yeah, well, there's
we
a
get
lot.
crazy. Get crazy with it.
Well, might as well look. I think the game's gonna be a lot more competitive than the media believes. I think that some media, right? Some hopping on early, but my brother was like, "I'm worried they have great play." I'm a little disappointed in Mark Sanchez, to be honest, because I was watching. He was on Colin Coward, and he's talking about Colin's like souping up the Jets. He's like, right now, he goes, Mark, the Jet receivers are better than the Packer receivers. They got more weapons on offense than the Packers.
Mm-hmm.
And he starts doing this. I don't know. He goes, there's a lot of they're good receivers out there in Green Bay. I don't know how many games does he watch. What's he talking about?
You know what's fun? You know what's funny, bro?
Dobbs?
You know what's funny, bro, about all this? All season, all summer, when it's 150 degrees outside, all of us are on this app. All of us that are in here right now. And we all know about them. And now they're all the rest of the league are coming on watch.
Yep.
About all the guys in our team that we've been saying, oh, this guy's good. He's a schmuck. He's nothing. The other team traded him. They didn't want him. You guys are getting leftovers. Okay. Oh, you're getting rookies. They got nothing. They got nothing. Oh, you're overpaying for that guy. He's the Jets. Okay. I know what he's got. I know he can block. Oh, you're paying that much money for a tight end to block? Yeah. All right. Well, when the tight end gets and scores 2 touchdowns because of those blocks, you don't know what we got two running backs that could start on other teams. There's 2 superstars. These people, man, I'm telling you, they're starting to come around, Zach.
Johnny come lately is what they are. And you'll see if we somehow pull off that win and we're the toast of the town, you'll start seeing more and more people jumping up, and wearing jerseys and hats and all that stuff and go Jets. And listen, I don't know how I feel 2 ways about it. More the merrier. And the other half is like, where the hell were you guys?
No, I know, but we went through it before. Some of these young guys haven't. Like when we were, you're saying me just me, but like the Rex years, they were nothing. I haven't seen nothing since the '98. 12 years later, all of a sudden, everybody's Jets fans again, and they come out. And then the true fans, like the ones that are here in this room, that have been here since forever, they're the ones that your veins get cut, so it's green. And that's why we're here. We're here to talk about what we did Sunday. We're going to do next week. All these Jets fans in here, man. It was awesome this week, right, Zach? What do you think about the whole chant with the PA wasn't even starting that chant? I don't know. That was just something cool I thought happened.
Yeah, what, the Brees?
The Brees and that one that song that we don't know the name of. I think it's
the White Stripes.
Yeah. That was crazy though. Like the PA didn't start it. It was just like the one section just started chanting, and next thing you know, the whole stadium was doing that. Shit was loud.
Dude, everything. Well, even the Dolphin fans above the rows up there, and there were like 100 of them on the corner of us, and we were waving goodbye to them because the whole time they were doing this loud ass JETS sucks chant. For 100 or 200 of them, they were really fucking loud.
Yeah.
And we were just like, me and Motivational, every time we would score a touchdown, we would look over to them up above and stick the middle finger at them or wave goodbye to them. And a lot of Dolphin fans went home upset. They still can't get over that loss. Bro, they got a game tomorrow. They're still talking about it.
Well, let's hope that our fans that are out there, like Kenny, he's out on the street, and Lou from the office of Gotham, they're all out there. Some of the fans they travel across the country to be loud for our Jets out there in Green Bay, where the stadium I've never been to. I wish I have. I heard it's really awesome and it's really historic. So one day, but we're gonna get the win tomorrow, guys. I have a feeling. I'm hopeful. Don't ever discount Aaron Rodgers, but let's go Jets. So I'm gonna get to the hands, and then we'll keep it moving. So Zach, I'll get back to you, buddy, if you're hanging, chill. Right. But Rusty, get your hand up, and we'll ladies first. Okay, Rusty, good evening in the Jet Lounge. How are you?
Hey, how is everybody doing?
Doing good. Doing good.
We have a really good chance of winning on Sunday. I was talking to a friend of mine who is a huge Packers fan, and I asked him, "What do you think about this game?" And he said, and I mean, he's a huge Packers fan. He watches every game that's available. So he knows how they play, what's going on with them. And he said to me, I got to be honest, I think it's a 50-50. Actually, it might even be a little more in favor of the Jets. And I was pretty surprised. Not that I don't think that way, but that he did. So when Packers fans are saying we could lose this game, then I think that's something. Now I think we can win it because we have the Packers have a really hard time defending against the run, and we've got a great run game. Their secondary is kind of banged up. So that's not strong. He said the only thing we really need to worry about are their linebackers because they're really good. And there is a pass rush that they have that's good too. But we've been through that before. And Zach is a mobile quarterback. So he can get out of the pocket if he has to, or he can stay in there. And this will be the second week in a row that we have the same line, offensive line. So that's a plus too. So I'm looking at this as I don't think it's going to be a blowout, but I do think we are going to win. I just don't think that Aaron Rodgers is. I don't know. He's just not the same Aaron Rodgers unless something drastically changed this week. I just don't think he's going to pull it out of his hat. So I'm excited about it. I think we have a great chance to win, and I think we will. As for last week, well, gosh, I think we've talked about that a lot, and everybody is thrilled and excited about it. And we should be, because beating a division rival and beating him so decisively, I think that's great. And we saw Zach come out and actually do a lot of short throws. And then, as a matter of fact, if he does a lot of these short throws, that and we have a lot of the our receivers and the running backs, they get a lot of yards after the catch. So this is going to be good. I think even though the crowd over there will be loud because Green Bay is always into their team and always will be loud, I think still it's going to be a good game. We're going to be happy after this, I think.
Yeah, glad we're not playing in the snow. But then again, like you just mentioned, Green Bay isn't that good with the rush defense. They actually are 20th in the NFL, and they're giving up 126 yards a game. The Jets are 15th against the in ranked 114 yards a game. So we're going to be attacking them against that. But at the same time, their defense, he's without his weapons. So I'm going to keep with the hands, and then we'll go to Benny. Go ahead.
One other thing
I'm sorry, Rusty. Go ahead, Rusty.
One other thing my friend mentioned is that they have a good running game, and we're going to have to be able to protect against that.
Yeah, thank God we're good against the run. And not only that, Justin, real quick, their offensive line, your friend should have mentioned that their offensive line is in shambles. They can't protect him, and he can't run out of the pocket. He's a mobile quarterback 10 years ago. He's not a mobile quarterback anymore. His legs, and like you said, Rusty, before, something's different. I was watching a whole show about him today, and they were showing all the body language from all his games. He's just not into it. He's got very bad body language, specifically in the second half versus the Giants. He's kind of throw his hands up in the air. He's still dealing with the thumb. And Rodgers is Rodgers, but I think the Packers in name only, not anymore. And by the way, if we ever play the Bills, I wish for snow. That's the great equalizer. The great equalizer is the weather.
Yeah, like the New England game, or what they had Mac Jones do it for 3 times. You know what I mean? give the ball to Brees and Michael Carter in the snow. Yeah, I'll take that one. Yeah, go ahead, Benny.
Yo, you hear me fine? It was kind of cutting out for me for a second.
Yeah, I got you.
You're good.
All right, cool. So, listen, I've been really trying to be like really optimistic and thinking that we're gonna win this game and everything like that. I don't know. I think it's gonna be very tough. I think it's gonna be a very close game. I don't think we're gonna get blown out by any stretch of our imagination. My gut tells me this is gonna be a game that we're hanging around. We have an opportunity to win in the fourth quarter. It's just tough to win in the fourth quarter, especially there. And I think we're gonna fall just a little bit short. And that's honestly, I'd be okay with that, like competing, because that's a Super Bowl caliber team, and hanging in there with a team like that, and just falling a little bit short won't be the end of the world, at least for me. And I think it's gonna be definitely a competitive game for sure. But I think how we do go about winning this game is, since they're coming from London and they had all the travel and whatnot, and at the end of the fourth, I mean, seen it in the second half of the Packers-Giants game, they got a little tired, you know what I'm saying, due to the travel, due to everything like that. So I think our best chance to win is if we start off fast. And I think we go a little up tempo early. I know we don't necessarily do that. We like kind of getting into the huddle, calling the right plays, doing stuff like that. But I know we usually draw up the first 2 drives or something like that, a certain amount of plays. I would do that, but kind of up tempo, kind of get their defense a little tired. You know what I'm saying? At least while we're on offense, uh, do what you need to do. Try to get a lead early, but even if you don't, control the clock. That's what the Giants did the whole second half. They controlled the clock by running the ball. And we're statistically the best fourth quarter team in the league. So if we start off fast, go a little up tempo early, get them tired, get them on their heels, when that fourth quarter comes around, if we're down a score or even 10 points, whatever, I think we'll have a legitimate chance to really make that run, because that between the travel, between playing the game and playing a physical team like ours ourselves, I think we have a strong chance to kind of, I don't know, steal one in the fourth quarter. But I don't know. I think it's gonna be very tough. And I don't know. I think we fall short a little bit, but it is what it is.
Well, how many do you think we lose by, though, Benny?
Honestly, I think a score, probably a touchdown. I can see us losing by a touchdown.
Well, they're giving us 7.5, I think. Is that what it was?
I think it's 7.5.
Now, I don't know. I think that you're not seeing the same Aaron Rodgers, especially with Christian Watson's out too. I mean, I know he's a rookie, but the guy doesn't have a lot of receivers as it is, and you're just losing weapons. So, what's up, Alex?
What's up, Justin? I think another key to this game is going to be with their offensive line. I know Bakhtiari only played about half the snaps last week because he said he didn't like the way the field was. So I would assume that means he's not still 100% confident in himself. And also Elgton Jenkins was limited in practice as well. So their 2 best linemen are a little banged up. Obviously, that helps in our case for protecting Rodgers, and as well as maybe deteriorate their run game a little bit. I think the player I'm most worried about is Aaron Jones, just because of how they use him. Very good receiver out of the backfield, and they even line him up out as a wide receiver as well. And that's been a little bit of a trouble for our linebackers and safeties covering these running backs. Also, Dubes is a nice young player, or Dobbs, however you pronounce it. But after that, it's really Randall Cobb, and I think we have a good chance at capitalizing against their offense. We got to be able to put up enough points to counteract Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I mean, he's not he's not the Aaron Rodgers that of the old. Let's not get it twisted. But he's still giving you 230 yards in the 90, the 90s in the ratings. He's still Aaron Rodgers. I'm just discounting him, whatever. But I think he's beatable with the backs that we've had. with DJ Reed and Sauce, and the pressure we've been getting to up front with the linemen that we have. Yes, we're going to be without Jermaine, which is I think is going to be big for that second unit. Looks like we have 2 defensive units with the 4 guys coming in for us coming out, and Jermaine being one of those guys. I think they activated Vinny Curry back for tomorrow. So, I think it's going to be a lot of the Aaron Rodgers is going to try to throw the ball, but we have, like I said, Sauce is, hold on, I think I had it written down before. He's at a 76.7 rate. He's got 1 pick, 6 passes defended, and he's only given up 58.3% completion percentage. It's pretty good, man. And DJ Reed's, he's got two passes defended, interception, 49.2%, and a 57.9 completion percentage. So I hate to put stats out that sound like defense, but these guys can hang with what Aaron Rodgers is throwing at, especially when the guys he's throwing at are around Cobb. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I hate to say it like that, but I think that the Jets defense is going to be stout getting to him, and our offense, we just got to run the ball and do what we're good at, and let I think keep Zach comfortable again, like he was last game. I'm fine with that 14 for 21 with no touchdowns, and maybe give me one. If instead of the one that you ran in, throw one. Instead of one that you handed off, throw another one. You know? So, I don't know. I think that, I don't know what's going on with Rucker. I think he's a healthy scratch, and Yeboah was brought up. So, I don't know if you see something in what those guys do against what defensive schemes against the Packers are playing. Just healthy scratching the rookie who hasn't really played much for Yeboah, who was on the practice squad. But I don't know. I think it's going to be a different game. It's not the old Packers. It's the Packers that are 3-2 in a division that has Justin Fields in it. They should be undefeated there. Big T, what's up, buddy?
What's going on, Jet Lounge? What's up, Justin, Zach,
Good evening.
Maddie, Brown and Pound, Joe, everybody. Well, I missed Petey. What's going on, fellas? I'm listening to what's being said. Let's welcome Vinny Curry and let's welcome Mike Remis to the active squad. We brought up an offensive lineman, and we brought up some more defensive depth of Vinny Curry. So that's actually good. They cut Cager. I don't know who else what else they did, but I know Cager got cut. He'll probably wind up in a practice squad or something, most likely, unless somebody picks him up. But all right, fellas. I'm 99.9%, and I'm being serious that the Jets are going to win this game. Okay, you guys are giving me everything that is the reason why the Jets are going to win this game. The Patriot wide receivers and offensive skill set that Rodgers has. The Jets have faced Cincinnati Bengals, shut them down. Their wide receivers chasing them or whatever. They had big. They faced Miami, who's a freaking track meet, and shut them down. Okay, Rodgers is a little bit banged up. It's not the old Aaron Rodgers. Doesn't scramble as much. Okay, he has a pedigree. You always give a veteran a shot. Okay, like you would give Brady a shot. But look at Brady and see if he's playing okay. But trust me, you see the end coming. The Jets are gonna shock the world, and the Jets are gonna dominate this game, bro. And I'm calling. I put my balls out there. They're gonna shut their receivers down. Aaron Rodgers is gonna be running for his life. Okay, if they shut the running game down, the Jets are gonna blow Green Bay out. And I'm calling it. Zach Wilson is the one that's going to show out this game. Something tells me the swagger of the babyface assassin, because that's what I call him, the babyface assassin. You know what I'm saying? I think he's gonna show out just because of the fact he's looking at someone that he's looked up to and wanted to be like. I just something tells me he's gonna play within the game. I don't think he's gonna play crazy, but it's just I think the running game, they're gonna run all over these guys. He's gonna hit the wide receivers. I think Zach's gonna have like 2-3 touchdowns. Honestly, I think the Jets gonna blow them out. They're gonna score like 30-something points. I say 35-17, 35-20. 99.9% sure the Jets gonna win this game. They're gonna get 2 turnovers plus. I think Sauce is gonna get another pick in this game. Okay, they're gonna get over 3 sacks. They're gonna get over 150 running. Sacks gonna throw over 250, and the Jets are gonna be 4-2. And I don't see anything else. And I give Rodgers 0.1 chance of beating us. That's how much confidence I got on my team.
Big T, from a team that we are as the Jets, that is a receipt-taking team. That is one I would love to put in my pocket because that was a great take, bro. And I love the positivity because I think that it's a possibility to, we could be like the Randy Orton when we could put away the, I don't know what do you call it, the whatever.
The Jets will be after this game. You know what I'm saying? People are teetering back and forth, like Zach was saying. People jump, whatever. Do you understand how full the train station is going to be after this game, bro? And I'm talking about even Colin Coward, who always talks crap. He picked the Jets to win 28-27 or whatever. Like everyone from the woodworks. And you know what? And good reason why. The Jets are loaded, bro. I know we haven't seen it in a long time. I never seen a Jet team loaded with this much talent in the existence of the Jets. Only the 2009, 2010 team, maybe, when we had the other wide receiver or whatever, but those were the championship teams, but those were all a bunch of vets. These are guys that are first-year, second-year guys, and a couple of them coming in, maybe fourth-year guys, but those are young vets. The Jets are loaded, bro, loaded, oh my God, like if the Jets were a girl, bro, I would be all on top of them.
All right, relax. I like the babyface assassin there reference, and the fact that you're gonna beat his idol, man. That's a good one.
That's what I
like it.
I feel that, bro. The babyface assassin. People think, I'm saying, oh, look at this cute kid or whatever. That kid is so competitive. I love his fire. I love his mental makeup.
I think he's gonna ball out tomorrow. I agree with you. Ground and punt. And then Terrence, I think you had your hand up, so ground and punt. Go ahead.
Hello, everybody. First things first, we got to acknowledge that the lounge is the best Jets space of all time. We've got amazing hosts, Zach and Justin. You guys fucking kill it. Zach, you're a fucking great storyteller, by the way. Sorry for the wind in the background, walking my dog. The contributors to the lounge, all the takes are great. I agree with 95% of them. Rusty, always great takes. Terrence, Big T, Joe B, Matty Ice, Petey. Petey's a fucking man. Jets for life. If I left your name out, forgive me, but you're in my heart. Okay. My take on the game.
Hey, ground and punt, I apologize, but you're awesome too, buddy.
Yeah, thank you, brother. Thank you.
I appreciate it.
To all you guys in the room. Thank you. Ground and punt too. Thank you.
This is just an awesome space, dude. I'm telling you, the hosts, I'm just thinking, I'm like, we could go pound for pound against the fan, except we only talk about the Jets. So, but listen, here's my take on Rodgers, is that he doesn't have the same players around him. He doesn't have the same team around him. And he's got the thumb issue. And other than that, he's the reigning NFL MVP. So I'm not going to talk shit about him. Getting to the Jets, I think I like our chances to win the game, not because of Aaron Rodgers, but because of what we have. We went from being one of the most unbalanced teams to one of the most balanced teams. Honestly, defensive coordinators have to be having fits right now because you can't just stack the box against the Jets. You can't just beg them to pass or beg them to run. Because if you have a poor running defense, I honestly want to see Michael Carter get some huge chunks. I would love to see him have a nice game where he's getting a high yards per carry. Because if that's happening, then that means all cylinders are clicking. And we just have to hope that the team continues to gel. You know, we're going to have 2 games back to back all season with the same offensive line. I expect the Jets to win. My only disappointment in this game would be if they lost by 2 touchdowns. That would be a huge disappointment for me because, and the only thing I can really see hurting the Jets in this game is if they come out flat. And that would be an indictment on the coaching, quite frankly. But there's got to be an electricity within the team with the way they came back and beat Pittsburgh. You know, with the way they've been a great fourth quarter team because they went from being the worst fourth quarter team in the league possibly to now one of the better teams. I mean, bro, we couldn't even get garbage yards. Like when we were down by 4 touchdowns a year ago. We were still going 3 and out. This is a completely different team. So that's why I understand what T-Rock is saying about being loaded. Because honestly, like, I just don't know who you cover.
Yeah.
Like, Mike, you know what I'm saying, man? Like, it's
yeah,
just,
no, we're stacked, man, and I'm still waiting for some guys to ball out that haven't yet. You know, like Elijah Moore, like this guy, CJ Uzama, like these guys haven't put up the numbers yet, and they're gonna fill the stat sheet somehow, sometime, right?
Eventually, something's going to eventually happen. You know, Moore is in his second year. They're respecting him a lot more, but he really didn't get into his rhythm until like midway through the season last year. Yeah. And so he's just got to be patient, you know, continue to run hard. But yeah, man, dude, I expect to win point blank. And again, all to you guys make this place fun. The hosts. Thanks, and the people contributing. You guys are all the best, honestly, from my heart and from the brain.
Listen, I can speak for the entire guys lounge too. That we appreciate that because we speak from the heart because we're fans. You know, we're for the fans, by the fans. That's what we say, Sack. So I appreciate that, ground and pun, man, because we love doing it. You know, this isn't our full-time job. You know, but it is a full-time job. So Ray is in the room. Petey's in here. Sack. So everybody in the room.
Of course, Ray. I
can't
leave Ray out. I didn't see him though. Normally he's at the top. Ray, you know I love you, bro.
We know. We love you back. So we're gonna keep it going. That was a great take, though. Granted fun. I do think that we can take it, and let's be positive and say that we will take it. So Terrence, go ahead, and then we'll get over Jets 3-2, and then Joe. Terrence, go ahead.
Hey Justin, how you doing today?
What's up, Terrence?
And to all the faithful that are listening right now, again, I think it's a great idea to have like a pregame show like this on Saturday night when people, when people are available and just want to talk about their, because there's a lot of excitement, especially now with this young team. And all I can tell you is that, I'm a Jet fan like everybody else here. It's really going to be hard for me now, only in the most rare cases, to basically say that, this team, whether this team is going to win or not. Because to me, I think, we're as talented as most of the teams are in the NFL, like Big T-Rock was saying. So it's, I'm not going to really be the guy that pours cold water on anybody. I think we have a good chance to win. The first reason why is it just seems like without Devontae Adams, the Packers passing game, is not as lethal as it's been in the past. Now, they still have some good players, and Aaron Rodgers is still Aaron Rodgers, but to me, we also have, pretty good secondary, with Reed and Sauce. So, I think that we can neutralize that. I am concerned about the running game because that always seems to be, even last week with Mostert, between Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon, I'm just hoping that, we come up with a defensive scheme that can kind of neutralize that a little bit. Because unlike last week, saying, "Oh, we're going to let Aaron Rodgers beat us," that's not really a great solution because Aaron Rodgers by himself can still even at his advancing age, can still get it done, and we know that. So this is a strong test. We're playing a team, in Lambeau Field, all the allure of that. But I have confidence in I've been impressed with the game plan on offense the last 2 weeks, and it seems like, as I think Big T Rock was saying, and maybe Ground and Punt was also saying, that I want us to run the ball. And it seems like the last 2 weeks we've been doing that early in the game, because to me, in the third and fourth quarter, when it matters, those 3 and 4 yard gains that Breece Hall and Michael Carter, 32, get could wind up being 8 to 10 yard ones, like it was in Pittsburgh. So that I think that's important. If the game is close, I think between the talent we have at receiver, along with at the running backs, they don't know they don't know who to cover, and I just think the defensive line is going to be tired out. And on the other side, I guess now, hopefully with the infusion of talent we have on the defensive line, everybody healthy, sans Jermaine Johnson, but I'm just glad that wasn't a major injury. Hopefully he'll be back in a week or two. But we'll be more fresh up front, than maybe the average team is, and maybe in the fourth quarter, their offensive line will start to sag a little bit, and just like it did against Miami last week, where once we scored that touchdown to kind of make it more than a possession game, the defense just took over, and that's what I'm hoping. But like Ground and Punt said, first and foremost, I want this to be a good game. I want this team to compete. Now, I thought this game might be national down here by me, but Tampa is playing at 1:00, so more than likely on Fox, Tampa might be on, and maybe I won't be able to see it, but I'll still see it with Pat Dunn and and the Discord. So regardless, I'll be able to watch it. But this game has been picked up nationally.
Sorry for interrupting, but
What?
Judge just broke his streak. He just hit a 2-run shot. The game is tied.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Anyway, but to me, it's a nationally televised game, and this is our chance to basically show the nation that we're no longer in the dregs, that we're no longer this loser franchise, that we can compete with some of the better upper echelon teams. And I'll leave it at that. It's an important game for this franchise in terms of gaining respect nationally, and and that's just and that's what's important to me. That that we have a good team, the fan base that comes out every week here, all the regulars, they've been loyal throughout, and finally, maybe, especially if we win this game at 4-2, that we'll basically, basically we're finally getting we're getting the fruits of all those 10 years of losing, and we'll start gaining some of the benefits of being a winning team. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, want that 4-2. We have a good chance at 4-2 if Kansas City beats Buffalo, that we're in first place, and we get some recognition, and maybe get some primetime games and some good stuff comes along with some winning. I don't know. I think maybe Sack was saying it today that our owner, he's very superstitious with his choice of the jerseys. He hasn't picked green all damn year.
Oh yeah, are we wearing the white with the black pants again?
Yeah, I think he's going with that again. So okay. We'll see.
He is.
But all right, let's go to Jets 3-2. What's up, man?
Yo.
What's up, man?
What's good, man? What's good? So I'm looking at the game like this, man. I'm looking at it like this. I want it to be good. I'm being optimistic. I don't think even the games Rodgers lost, they've been competitive. Tampa Bay, one of the best defenses in the NFL, he kept it competitive. I think I want us to keep it I want it to be a competitive game. Winning is a plus. You know, that's kind of how I'm looking at it right now. I'm looking at it. If I had to pick two players that I wanted to, have one of their best games of the year, I believe for us to win this game, Quinnen Williams is one today, because I believe, getting pressure on quarterbacks from the edges, you want that. But when you're getting it from the middle and they're not able to see over the middle of the field, I feel like that's way better than getting it from the edge. So I'm hoping Quinnen Williams can have, but I know Bakhtiari and Elgin, they are all pro type tackles. So I feel like our best chance is gonna be coming from the middle. I'm hoping I can. They like to get outside and run, so I'd like to see Sauce be more aggressive. Usually in run games, he sometimes get washed out the play, or he needs to improve his tackling. But our offense, man, like y'all said, run the ball. I still believe their defense is talented. They just got to get a few things together. I'd like to see Zach Wilson go at Rasul Douglas and Stokes, man. Like, I believe out of the DBs and their DBs and our wide receivers, I believe Jair Alexander is the best player out of all of them. But after that, Corey Davis, Elijah Moore, Garrett Wilson, they're all next. And then you can get to maybe their DBs, as in Rasul Douglas. Like, I feel like we can attack them too. And I feel like the players are going to be there for us to go at them. I don't, I understand, taking shots at good corners, but Jair Alexander, as you've seen the past few weeks, he's still not budging on his side of the field. And the Packers run an alt defense where he doesn't follow. Even though he be wanting to follow, he doesn't follow. I hope, so. But I believe it's a winnable game. It's definitely winnable. I'm just hoping, Zach Wilson can punch in some touchdowns. I don't understand what, we getting the ball on the freaking one. I'm like, bro, give him a touchdown, man. Even a one to Braxton Berrios. Freaking let him do a jet sweep and run that thing in, man. Like, get Zach Wilson some touchdowns, bro. Because somebody really hit me up last week and was, how y'all win by 40 and Zach Wilson didn't get a touchdown. I'm like, the fuck, man? Like, we won that game handily.
He did catch one.
Yeah, he ran one in.
He ran one in, but that doesn't show up on the box. That doesn't show up when you go to look at a quarterback stats. It says 0 and 0.
I think you overlooked. Don't worry about that, bro. Get the W. That's what you need to worry about.
Yeah. But that's not me. I'm saying somebody hit me up. He was like, how y'all get 40 points and Zach Wilson didn't
Forget
get a touchdown?
that fucking guy. He's developing.
Yeah.
Fuck that guy.
No, for real. I agree. But you want your quarterback to, you like, as people say, Zach Wilson is getting the most passes where it ends up on like the 1 yard line. And you like, fuck, like that's what you're doing.
Like, you know what I'm gonna tell you about that? Or whatever, the quarterback, and he's a Hall of Famer, and his name is Troy Aikman. Troy Aikman wasn't the biggest quarterback with a lot of stats or whatever, but guess what? He has a bunch of rings on his hands, bro. Just win the game.
Nah, that's facts. I agree. I feel like we're gonna be trusting Zach more a little more in the red zone eventually. But hey, man, I just hope we go out there and get this dub. If we get this dub, this is going to be great for us. Even if we keep it close, that's going to be a different look on our team and then I look at it like, I'm not trying to overlook, but fuck, Russell Wilson in these next few games, man, like, we can really do something here before the bye week, man. Like, and this is where I feel like our season has started already, but now this is where when you want to see your team improve, when you want to see a change in the culture, we're 3-2. We squeezed out some tough wins, but these are games where winning teams, they say, okay, we got a chance to win this, and I believe in our team. We're going to win it. These are the games they win to get into the playoffs. Like, we got to go in there. We got to go.
The 1 point you made 3-2, it was they're going to attack us with the rush, which I agree. And the big thing is with them, they like to run to the outside, right?
Yeah, DJ Reed, he does his thing at corner to tackler. Is the really only one is Sauce, but that he a rookie. That's a growing pain. He doesn't understand how physical it is.
Yeah,
to get down there. So
right. I feel you. I think Whitehead's got to be stepping into. They got to play more box. I think with this game, especially with a guy like Jermaine Johnson being out. That's that edge. That's what's the young guy who can get to those spots out in the flat that can get to the halfback. So I agree with that, and I think that they're gonna attack us with the run.
Hey, Justin, isn't Quincy back?
Quincy is back. Yeah.
Yeah. So there goes your side to side linebacker too. That's also a big.
You got Quan. You got CJ. I think that we they can beat us with the rush. We just gotta pick our poison like we did last week.
My only concern with Quincy, he's like a personal foul just waiting to happen. He's so fucking aggressive. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But Mostert ran for 113 yards last week, but we didn't give up those big plays to the wide receivers. That's what was big last week.
I think it was a little bit by design, though, guys. A little bit by design. They said they weren't gonna let the track meet beat us, and they let Mostert run a little bit.
Yeah, so I think that was pick your poison, and we said let's let the rookie beat us, against Sauce Gardner and DJ. But real quick, listen, let me get to New York, Glenn, New York City Carpenter. He was in before, and I didn't get to him, and then we'll get to Joe B.
All right, one more question. I'm going to get off here, but is Quincy Williams going to pull reps from Quan? Because I like Quan the past few weeks more than what I've seen.
Not in the 4-3.
All right.
Right, you got 4 up front and 3 in the back. You got three linebackers there.
All right, bet.
Yeah.
Thanks for taking me, Just. Appreciate everything, man. I just got 3 quick takes and I'm out, man.
You got it, man. I didn't even see your hand up before. I apologize. I tried to do my best. I just added my co-host up top. It gets busy in here.
So good. Love you guys, man. I just want to thank the Jet Lounge, all you guys. Every time I hang out with you guys, it's nothing but respect. And I wish all the best for you guys, man, in the future. That comes from my heart.
Right back at you, brother. Right back at you.
Definitely. The second thing is I'm a little worried about the Packers ground attack tomorrow. I'm worried about A.J. Dillon, man. I really feel like he's a force to be reckoned with, and he's really hard to tackle. So I really hope we can get after him and tackle him. If Aaron Jones is going to be getting the first couple yards here and there, and they're going to keep punching it with A.J. Dillon, that might give us a problem. And the third thing is Quinnen Williams is a fucking beast, man. I had an argument today at my son's football game. Somebody in the stands telling me, Quinnen Williams only playing good because of his contract year. That's the biggest fucking horseshit I ever heard in my life, all right? I think I might have got blocked by half of Jets Twitter when it came to Jets for the draft because everybody wanted fucking Josh Allen and just one jackass wanted him and everybody was piggybacking him and I was going at it with him. I don't even think Josh Allen's in the league anymore. But this fucking kid is a stud, and we got to stop giving up on 22, 23-year-olds, bro. Once they're not even men yet. Once they turn 24, 25, that's when they start developing. So this kid, Quinn Williams, is fucking going crazy, man. If we didn't have him on the defense, we wouldn't even be as good on defense. And that's that. And on the half, Sauce, love him. We can't compare him to Revis yet because his tackling issues. But like somebody just said, that's growing pains. Hopefully he can get better in that. And that's all I got to say. And I appreciate that. What do you think, Josh?
I like it. I mean, Josh Allen, he's still in the league. It's not the Josh Allen everybody's talking about in Buffalo. It's the linebacker.
Jaguars guy, yeah.
Jaguars, yeah. Now, Quinnen's a beast, man. And I think the fact that we have so much talent on this line with the pressures up front, with Lawson and JFM, excuse me, I was reading the text, that they're bringing up from with 14 pressures, that Quinnen doesn't get those double teams, it doesn't seem. And what happens? He's getting into the backfield.
Fucking stud, man.
I like the kid. I think he's going to be good. And playing for a contract year or not, I don't care. You know what? Take that argument to the bank. I don't care. Do what you want with that argument. But guess what team he's playing on this year for that contract?
That's right. He's going to get it, too.
So,
well, Justin, they picked up his 5th year. So he's here next year.
Did they?
I
All
thought
right.
that-
So I'm
yeah.
glad you're here today, Brad, because I would have been
That'd
typing
be
away.
great.
On the
Yeah, they
keyboard
picked
here.
it up in the off season. Sorry to interrupt.
No, you're good. You're good. All right, Joe.
Thank
B,
you,
we'll go
guys. Have a great
Yeah.
night, everybody. Let's get a win tomorrow, baby.
Later,
All
Carl.
right, Bart, let's go, bro. Let's go. Appreciate you coming in, man.
Thanks.
Everybody, how you doing?
What's up, Joe? Sorry, making so wait.
What up,
No,
Joe?
no. That's the fun of the lounge, man. That's what I love about it is everybody taking their turns and it's not a free for all.
Respect. Gotcha.
So no hot takes on this game that haven't already been said. It's just a few big picture things. I'll tell you, watching the highlights of the Bears game makes me really appreciate where the Jets are right now, because watching Justin Fields play and where the Bears are is like, man, that's what we've been going through for 10 years of
just imagine how many people wanted Fields. Sorry, just throwing that in there.
No, you're. I mean, who knows how good Fields could be if he was on the Jets right now with the talent they have? Because
yeah, you're right.
It could be on him, but no one will ever know. I mean, we're looking at that Bears team like we were looking at the Jets 4 years ago, going like, how many legitimate starters did the Jets have 3-4 years ago? But now it makes me appreciate like, wow, we've got a quarterback and our team is developing him. They've got all the things that it's not all on his shoulders. He doesn't have to carry the team. He's got receivers who can bail him out. He's got a running game he can lean on. And that's exciting to me. And it brought me back to Saturday. So feeling good about that. And then this is a question for the night. I saw Sack brought it up earlier in the week. He was saying, the Jets are probably going to be buyers at the deadline. I know that's maybe a bit of a long shot because I don't know if Douglas wants to pay any kind of a premium for anybody. But if there was anybody out there that you might be interested in, I'm curious who people would be curious to trade for. I know one guy I would be mildly interested to see if they go after would be Derek Brown from Carolina. But just curious everyone's thoughts.
That's not a bad thought process. It looks like Carolina's just going to have a fire sale. It looks like they get some draft picks. Seen news about McCaffrey, but I don't think he's touchable. They were saying they're listening, but I don't think he's.
Oh, everybody! I mean, they're listening. Everybody. They're saying McCaffrey, DJ Moore, Burns. So it's.
But the thing is, McCaffrey, he's only going to be getting paid $1 million this year. So the Panthers would be just silly to just get rid of him for that. Next year's like 11 or something. But Robbie
He'll
Anderson
probably end up in LA.
Yeah, but no, you're right. But somewhere that the team is just a piece away from winning again, right? Another
It's gonna be Buffalo or LA that trades for him. But yeah, I'm more interested in the younger guys, the guys that have more upside, because McCaffrey's kind of his best days are starting to be behind him.
Yeah, they're gonna have a fire sale. I haven't really looked at the trade deadline. I'm just so happy with the team that we have now. So
I can't think of anybody.
We have our own McCaffrey. His name is Hall.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, I would try to, see who's available anywhere on the offense.
Hey Joe, when you said Derek Brown, is that's a fatty in the middle, right, for the defense, right?
Yeah, he's a 318-pound defensive tackle. He's one of the top 6 rated defensive tackles.
Yeah, if I'm the Jets, I would concentrate on that too.
Can I make a quick point on that, Just?
Go ahead, Ray. And we'll get to Brandon's in here from the Jets Insider. So once you make your point, we'll get to Brandon. Go ahead, Ray.
I could see the LA Rams absolutely making a play for McCaffrey. There's rumors today going around that Cam Akers is going to be requesting a trade because he's not happy with his role. He's 23 years old. I could see a swap there, something like that. But on top of that, with the Derek Brown thing, is a no-brainer. I think that's a great guy to put up the middle, because when we got rid of Fadukasi, that's a big fatty we had up the middle. So I love that point.
Cool. Yeah, we definitely missed the big guy up in the middle. When we had Chris Jenkins, I remember the years like that with the big run stuff that changes the defense. Who else did we have? Snacks, guys like that. The big bodies. So it looks like we're going for speed and endurance with the Salah defense. So speed, strength, endurance rather than the size, So, Brandon, what's going on, man?
Not much. Just wanted to pop in for a little bit, see what's going on.
Yeah, I wanted to get your take. I messaged you before. I wanted you to pop in and give us your preview of what you think is going to happen for tomorrow's game with the Green Bay Packers and the Jets. We're both 3-2, and they're looking like a team like, oh, we're talking how bad they look at 3-2, and we're, oh my god, we're going to win a Super Bowl at 3-2. So, what do you think that this game looks like?
I think the game is going to be competitive, like right off the bat, because I feel like these are two teams that, despite like the Jets' performance, Green Bay's performance, I do feel like they're on a very similar level in terms of like just on paper talent. And just looking at it, I feel like it's going to have to be a strength versus strength in terms of, obviously Green Bay, their strength this year has been Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon, the run game, because their receivers aren't exactly as strong as they used to be. No more Devontae Adams, relying on guys like Romeo Doubs, Christian Watson, even a bit of an aging Randall Cobb. You're going to have to work to stop those two guys in both the running and passing games. And then obviously you have to go against Aaron Rodgers, which that's a completely different challenge in and of itself. So from a defensive perspective, if you can limit the big plays, don't let Aaron Jones rip off that 30-yard run, but keep it more to like 8, maybe like 8 to 6, 6 to 8, those type of runs, and hold and have that bend don't break type approach on defense, then I think the corners in the secondary will be able to shut down the Packers receivers, and then you're giving yourself a shot in the game. And then on offense, I mentioned strength versus strength because I feel like the Jets should rely heavily on Breece Hall once again. This is a Green Bay Packers run defense that really has not been as good as they probably should be, considering the guys they have on paper.
Brandon, can you shut up, bro? Shut the fuck up, man.
Yeah, goodbye. Sorry, Brandon. I appreciate it.
Hey, is it not kind of ironic that the Jets are from New York? That's kind of ironic, right?
All right, they're gone. I apologize. Keep going. I'm sorry.
No,
It's a sincere form of flattery. That's how I always take it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I don't even know where that came from.
There are obviously Jets fans.
Probably a Dolphins fan. Oh, one of us a Redskins fan. That was in his tag, so I don't know what he's doing in here.
Yeah, who knows? But hey, all good. Yeah, but as I was saying, I think if the Jets lean on Breece Hall once again, this is something where, they can take advantage of a Green Bay run defense that hasn't really been up to their strength considering the talent level on like the front seven. And then once Green Bay starts creeping up, that's when the play action passing game comes into play and you can hit Elijah Moore, Garrett Wilson on those deeper pass plays. So I do think it's going to be a very close game. This is a winnable game. This isn't a game where I'm like, compete and just keep the game close. I do feel like this is a game that is winnable. It's going to be tough. You're going in the Green Bay. The Packers are very hard to beat at Lambeau. And it's something that no matter who they've been facing in the past, it's a very tough place to beat them at.
Brandon, when do you think Zach Wilson's coming out party is going to be? He's had a few weeks to come back from that injury. He's got the talent around him, so I don't want to hear any excuses. I feel like on paper we have very similar, if not better, talent, obviously, besides the quarterback position. So when are we going to start looking at Zach to start carrying the load a little more?
I think that's going to come when teams start trying to take away Breece Hall, which frankly could be this week, could be the next week. It's when I feel like going up to this point, teams are like, we don't really know what the Jets' identity is on offense. Breece Hall isn't really getting worked in. But especially after last week, and if they rely on him early this week, you probably could start to see teams start to creep up and try to take away that, which then that's when it's like, okay, Zach now needs to make a few more throws, make a few more plays to the point where, then you start to see like him hitting those throws consistently and moving the offense himself.
Go ahead, Rusty.
Yeah, I wanted to point out that one thing I saw when the Packers played the Giants that was significant to me was in the fourth quarter when Aaron Rodgers was trying to throw. They put the line up and were concentrated on batting the ball down. And Rodgers couldn't see the where to throw because the defensive line was either too tall for him to see, or they were just concentrating on not letting him get the ball out somewhere. That ruined their last drive completely because they batted down 3 or 4 passes that he tried to make. And I don't know if we're tall enough or big enough in order to do that, but I would certainly try that because he was harassed, and then he couldn't get the ball past the line of scrimmage because they kept batting it down. Did anybody else notice that?
No, I didn't even catch the game. Should have watched the Packers game.
I think Rusty's right. That fourth down, when the Packers were on the verge of scoring, I think, in the end of the game, I think that fourth down play, it was knocked down, like Rusty said.
Yeah, I mean, what the highlights I did watch a lot of on the previews and stuff was the Giants were doing a lot of swarming on a lot of the screens and stuff. That's what a lot of the reporters were saying. That it was more of like Aaron Rodgers was rolling out of the pocket and couldn't get comfortable in the pocket to set himself up and get his hips straight. He was always rolling out and hitting his screens on his checkdowns. That's what I heard. I didn't see the game, so I can't really talk on it. But as far as what I know, what their team is doing so far this year. I think that having the injuries that they have and the team, I look at it on paper. I think I just see a team that's just average, and we're playing to our best abilities and coming in there with a pretty healthy team, regardless, except for maybe our offensive line being different players every week in different positions. I think the fact that we're moving in the right direction week after week, and they haven't been a pleasure to watch and they're losing games. I think that's what's putting us our hopes up here. That we're getting our hopes, to beat this team. Go ahead, Terrence.
Thanks, Justin. Hey, Brandon. I guess to Ray's point, like I'm not really that concerned about the way Zach Wilson's been playing because he's been 2-0. But and the thing to me that I've seen so far is, especially in that Miami game, it seems like when he has the time to throw, he's putting the ball pretty accurately where the receiver can catch it and then keep moving forward for that yak. I remember and somebody else, maybe it was Big T-Rock, said that, or somebody said it in a previous Jet space. I remember that screen pass to Michael Carter where he just threw it to him and Carter just had to reach out a little bit and it was right. And he had to be going forward to catch it. And it was perfectly placed for Carter to keep going upfield and get yardage. And then that play, I think it was the first play after the missed field goal by Miami, where he threw it on a line to Corey Davis. And although, Davis got hit almost immediately after, he kind of put it where Davis could just, turn and move upfield. And he did get a couple of extra yards after the catch. But can you talk a little bit maybe about we had issues last year with Zach's accuracy, and it's only been 2 games. It's a small sample size, but it seems to me that so far he's made some improvements in that regard compared to last year. What do you think?
Yeah, I feel like I've definitely seen that as well. It's just a matter of especially for a young quarterback, a quarterback that is only made a handful of starts in his second year. It's about getting comfortable. And I feel like the more comfortable he gets, the more he's going to consistently be making those throws. And I feel like so much of the issues with him last year in terms of accuracy was he was skittish. He was, moving around the pocket. He was trying to do too much versus now, you added that talent around him and more importantly, guys are healthy. So you have the weapons, the infrastructure around him where Wilson can play comfortable, he can play loose, and then he's going to continue to be able to make those throws.
Hey Brandon, Zach in a clean pocket. Zach is the number 2 quarterback in the NFL. He's 92%.
Yeah, exactly. To that point, it's if the team continues to give him time, the O-line continues to give him time, he's going to be able to do damage as a quarterback. And frankly, that's better than what it's been in the past, because it's like even last year, even with a clean pocket, the rare times he would have it, he would still sometimes miss those throws versus now he's getting more comfortable and he's been able to make those throws.
I think a lot that separates him from this year, from last year, from what I've noticed, because myself, and I'm sure like 90% of the people in here watched the game 2 or 3 times over, I've noticed significant improvement in his footwork and his delivery right as he's in a long drop back. Last year, if you notice, when he's throwing the ball, he always seemed to be fading away from the pressure instead of setting that back foot. And when he was fading away from pressure last year, we constantly saw those overthrows where it's almost like changing his arm angle. Now he seems to be more confident standing in the pocket, knowing if he's going to get hit, but he's not scared to get hit. And he's willing to, put a little extra miles per hour on the ball and proper placement.
You know what, right? I don't mean to cut you off, Brandon, but I saw that too. And the way he was throwing his flats out to the running backs was almost mirrored to the way Flacco did it, which I thought was crazy because Zach wasn't doing it at all last year, throwing it into the dirt or overthrowing him the simple little 5-yard flat routes.
Or the little screen passes. The little screen passes he couldn't hit because of the footwork.
Now it looks like he was hitting him in stride. Michael Carter hit him in stride. It wasn't like he had to even reach back and contort himself to, go back for the ball and then, only get 2 yards. He caught it in stride and got 4, stuff like that. But the question was for Brandon. I didn't mean to cut him, but I did notice that too.
Yeah, it just looks like he has a better base. And, it's something so simple, but for the quarterback position, when you don't have that base under you, that's when everything starts to get airmailed. That's when everything starts to get underthrown, overthrown. It's having that base and that foundation and those fundamentals. It's going to make everything that more consistent. And what do you call it? I'm going to head out. Thank you guys so much. Really appreciate everything you guys do. And I'll definitely swing by once again soon.
All right, Brandon, we appreciate you, and we appreciate all the work you've been putting in.
Thank you, Brandon.
With the articles you've been putting for the Jet Lounge, too, all the writing you've been doing. We appreciate you. So thank you so much.
Yeah, of course, guys. Have a great night.
You too, man.
Take care, Brandon.
Hey, Justin, one thing I think that is completely underrated, and I came in a little late, so maybe you guys touched on it, but I haven't heard much of it. Last week, John Franklin Myers was absolutely all over the place, torturing the offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
And if teams are going to constantly, double team Quinnen or try to put some help over to Carl Lawson, I think that it could actually carry over. I do think the Johnson is more of a loss than we're leading on to, because he's very significant in the run game, especially with that lateral quickness that he shows. Very few teams have been able to bounce the ball outside on his side of the field, and we all know the Packers love to do that. So I'm really concerned when it comes to that, because Josh Martin and Curry are more pass rushing specialists on this team. So I think the Jets are going to go back to playing Franklin Myers on the outside, and who knows, maybe he could continue what he did last week and supply that pressure, because we know you can't blitz Rodgers, and if we sit in those soft zones, we're going to get eaten up all day long. So we're really going to have to rely on that front four getting those hands up in the passing lanes.
Yeah, that was something Rusty actually mentioned before, with getting the hands up. And I also agree with you with the loss of JJ. He overplays the ball and comes back to it from the quarterback's blind side, which I thought he did in college too, and it was great, watching him get his sacks from the blind side.
Hey, Justin, another update. Yankees took the lead. Cabrera hit a 2-run shot. Yankees up 4-2.
There we go. We need one more after tonight. Come on, let's go.
Sounds good to me.
But Lawson had a great game last week. Therefore, JFM was on the other side. So they're, the next thing you know, Quinnen's having a great game. The whole line was having a great game because Lawson and JFM were getting to the back. They had 15 pressures off the edge of those two. So why do you think Quinnen was able to get to the ball? He wasn't having three guys on him. Like, we got to get this Franklin Myers guy over here. He's in the backfield every play.
One thing we're going to have to do, Justin, though, I'm telling you, our ends are going to have to be disciplined this game because the Packers' run game is hoping that your guys jet upfield. And we always know how Carl Lawson loves to stand on that outside technique and take the wide range to the passer, and that plays right into their hands. So it's going to be, imperative that the ends are very disciplined in that. And also, we haven't been attacked that much with it this year, but the Packers love to run those screen passes, and we know what screen passes have done to us in the past. So hopefully we can see progress there.
Well, I think that's a good thing that Quincy's back. That we have all three of our starting linebackers playing tomorrow to try to, I think Bryce is out, so Michael Carter should get more time in the slot. So hopefully that you have that speed right there. I'd like to see Whitehead up in the box a little bit, so hopefully he can stop some of those screens, swarm these guys. I think it could be. I'll take a screen pass over an Aaron Rodgers bomb any day this week. So, Terrence, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sorry. We went over the defense. I just was going to ask Brandon. I left my hand up to bring it up. We were talking about the comfort level that Zach has, and Big T Rock had that statistic about it. About how highly rated he is when he has a clean pocket. But to me, also that mentality that he had against Pittsburgh, where he said, "Let's go and get this effing touchdown," or whatever he said. Like to me, that's a confidence level that somehow he's attained over the, in the off season, that I think is half the battle when it comes to him. That in his mind, that he has that mentality that he can get it done. And that's all I wanted to add on top of what I asked before about that. But that's, to me, that's important, that he's not skittish in the pocket. He's more about, what do I have to do to get this done? And hopefully that's permeating throughout the offense. And you guys were talking about the defense too. Like you said, now that we have a pass rush, maybe Quinnen Williams gets open more for his opportunities. Because when we were talking about who gets the most sacks this year, I actually thought Quinnen Williams was going to get double-digit sacks this year, because I just felt like with the edges coming at the quarterbacks, they were going to be forced to move up into the pocket, and that's where Quinnen Williams would just hit them. But thanks, guys.
Yeah, I'm actually curious. We're talking about the comfort of Zach Wilson. I think a lot of that talk we had, months ago, was a lot of the comfort he was going to get was from his running backs, which he's obviously getting, his tight ends, which they're blocking, but they're not catching the ball the way we thought they would. I mean, Conklin's out there catching the ball, but I don't know. Maybe they're bringing your bow up for that.
Justin, are you nervous
Rucker
with that?
To scratch. What's
what
that?
What do you think about that? The whole Rucker being a healthy scratch. I mean, Uboa didn't even get, he got put to the practice squad. No other team in the NFL wanted him. And Rucker can't get any playing time at all the entire year. And he's a healthy scratch. It's not like he's on the injury report or anything. Does that concern you at all?
It does to me. If you're available and you're a high draft pick, then you're on the team to say, all right, you're not playing, but we're going to pull a guy from the practice squad. To me, that is concerning, because you do have two other guys that are already out there. So it's like you're the fourth or fifth guy. You're the third guy. Your job's there. You're third guy on the roster. Active roster should be playing.
Can I say something about that?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think they brought him up because they want another person that Zach feels comfortable with throwing the ball to, a tight end, because Conklin sometimes is catching the ball, sometimes not. But last year, Zach threw to him a lot. especially toward in those last 4 games, and they seem to have a connection. So I think that's why we even kept him on at all, because of that.
Oh no, I agree 100% because I love Kenny Yeboah. When he was coming out of college, me and Zach were actually putting him in our drafts. It was like, the last 7th round. Hope we can grab him, and then we didn't get him. We were both like, oh man, Yeboah didn't get drafted. Hope we get him, and then we get him undrafted. Under as a free agent. And then I went to the preseason game and watched him catch that the Hail Mary. Then my son went to a camp and met him, and it was just, I'm always rooting for the guy. And every time I've gone to an event where he's playing, he's scoring touchdowns in camp, in the preseason games and stuff. So I think you're right. He does have a connection with him. He's scoring touchdowns, right? I mean,
Yeah.
Morgan was the one who scored that Hail Mary, but in camp they're practicing. There's some familiarity there. But as far as it being a concern, I get what Ray's saying because he's on the team and he's active right now. The other guy's not, and you're just swapping them. For what reason? Healthy scratch. It's just, you're not as good as the other guy. That's what it sounds like. And maybe for the situation, maybe he's a better run blocker and we're going with run. Maybe he's a better pass catcher and we're going pass. Maybe we're trying to get more passing catching, more receptions. Passing catching. That was horrible. More receptions.
I knew that was what you meant.
Catching. Getting more receptions out of our tight ends.
I think so. I think because they've got Yeboah who's a really great blocker, and so is Conklin, and they don't have one that's just a pure receiver, which Yeboah is more like. So I think that's why they brought him up. I don't think it was any bad reflection on Ruckert. It's just that he hasn't been catching much.
Well, Ruckert did score a touchdown in the preseason game when Strevler was there. So, I mean, I think he could hang with the boys. We just got to give him a shot. He's not playing a lot. But yeah, the tight end is a position that I think that our quarterback is going to develop with. And he did look good with Conklin in training camp and in the preseason before he went out and he got hurt. And he did come up with some big plays with Conklin. Conklin had that 3rd down catch on the first opening drive. I think it was week 2, and they called it incomplete and killed the drive. But it was a 3rd down catch, and he towed it in, and they called it incomplete. It was bullcrap. But he caught another 3rd down play, kept the drive going. So Tyler Conklin's out there making these plays, and he's like that cushion for Zach. I thought we were going to get that more with CJ, with when we were Brees on the one, maybe a play action, fake dive, and then a bootleg, and then he just throws it over the top to CJ. One of the plays where you get him in the red zone, he's big body, he's going to grab that easy touchdown, but hasn't happened yet. But he's got to fill that stat sheet at some point. Him and Elijah.
Yeah.
But go ahead, Petey. What's up, Petey?
What's up? How are you, Justin?
I'm doing all right, man. You sound calm. Just put the boy to
no,
bed.
I'm laying down, but the space was going so good until T-Rock kept interrupting about the Yankees. It's a jet lounge space. I'm not going to throw no shade like he did on the Mets with the Yankees, but
no shade.
Nobody cares. Anyway,
I feel for you, buddy.
T-Rock with the wise guy thumbs up. I love it. I could talk smack too. But anyway, just looking forward to the game, just showing the space support, and I'm just enjoying. I think Yeboah too will play special teams tomorrow too, so that's an additive for him because I don't think he'll play many plays, to be honest. So he may get like 5 snaps or whatever because Rucker was getting a couple, not even. So
yeah,
and maybe it's just a development year for Rucker, and. I'd like to see Uzama, get more active. I mean, they paid the guy $7-8 million. He needs to. I mean, he had a great block. I don't know if anybody knows. If you watch the Brees Hall wheel route, he came across in motion and then he went back to the other side and protected Zach's blind side.
Oh yeah,
or the right tackle who on the right side, and he just stood back there, Zach, and dissected the field, and he hit Brees Hall. So. I like the points, though. Zach's making good throws. Even the Corey Davis throw against Pittsburgh when he threw it high, but he still led him to where Davis had to go forward, So I like how Zach's doing that for the most part. I would have liked to seen Conklin last week. I know it was a tough catch to make, but if he would have stopped and just let the Miami defender run into him. That was a 45-yard pass interference call our way. I'd like to see that, but
Oh, where
it's
where it bounced off the defender's helmet, that play?
yeah, but it's nice to see Garrett Wilson, a rookie, getting respect and drawing pass interference calls. So we haven't had that in a long time, with a Garrett Wilson, like a receiver we're getting calls now, Sauce doesn't get called. He's very aggressive. I love that about him, but he's very aggressive. So I just hope it doesn't bite him one day. And by the way, if you guys haven't tried it, I had the Sauce Gardner sauce yesterday from Buffalo Wild Wings, and man, it's pretty good.
Is it spicy?
Yes.
Oh boy.
Not
Bring in
not
the
spicy.
heat. Bring in the heat.
Not spicy to where it's gonna, burn, but it's like a funky spice. It's spicy barbecue, but it's not too hot. It's not blazing. Anyway, shout out to T-Rock, but not his interruption about the Yankees. Haha.
I'm gonna give you the Todd Frazier, Petey. I grew up with him, right?
I hope I'm getting more laughing emojis than thumbs down. Let me see him. If you thought it was funny, let me see an emoji.
Everybody
Ray,
show
get
the
outta
thumbs
here.
down.
Get
Thumbs
outta
down,
here,
everybody. Yeah, there you go, Rusty. There you go, Michael Elias. That's what I'm talking about. Terrence, throw it down.
At least I had the guts to say it. Thanks,
You're the
Terrence. You've
best.
been a day one supporter.
You're the best, Petey.
Justin, have a good night, guys.
You too, buddy. Yeah, Petey brings up a good point with special teams. I want to touch on that, but while we're talking tight ends, I don't want to change the subject on Joe B. Got his hand up. Go ahead, buddy.
Yeah, following up on that tight end, I'll tell you why I'm not really concerned about Ruckert. I mean, tight end is notoriously the hardest position to learn as a rookie. It has the highest learning curve because you have to learn the blocking schemes in addition to the routes and all that stuff. The reason it's harder on the Jets is because what they would be asking him to do, and Petey touched on it, like that cross formation block that Uzama did. Not to mention, they're cultivating Ruckert to play the use check role, so that means he's also having to learn, the fullback role or whatever they're going to call that in the Jets offense. So he is, forget drinking from a fire hose. He's drinking an ocean of the playbook at this point. So yeah, I've only seen him play on special teams, and from what I can tell, he's been fine. But I'm not concerned that he's inactive because he's got so much to learn. He needs a whole season to learn the playbook, to learn technique, and then needs another offseason before I'd be concerned if he was a game day inactive.
Yeah, like I said before, if we had like 6 guys, I'd be like, oh my God, what's going on here? He's getting buried. But 4, yeah, I like your points. I don't like to see them being thrown to the practice squad or a healthy scratch. But at the same time, Rusty brought up a great point, and so do you, with knowing the blocking schemes or having familiarity with the quarterback from last year in a game that's this big right now for 3-2, keeping the ball rolling and maybe fighting for first place on a team that just maybe wants that taste of victory against a big victory, like that, to put them, into the bye week. We only have a couple more weeks, and then it's the cushy part of the schedule that we see. But these guys rolling some confidence. That's the word I'm looking for. They're looking for some confidence on these young guys.
Yeah, look for that after the bye week. I mean, that's when you really want to see is like, how is he going to perform towards the latter half of the season? It's a great thing that he doesn't have to be thrown in right now, like in years past where, you got drafted, you were playing, and it was trial by fire. Now they get to bring him along slowly.
Yeah, like that was what we were talking about. Being able to have that luxury of drafting a guy like Ruckert as our third string tight end behind 2 starters, that he has the opportunity to learn that big, massive playbook, blocking and running routes from 2 guys ahead of him, and they're on 3-year contracts, so it's not like he has to learn them by this year.
Yeah, here's my hot take. In 2 years, he's going to be one of the 10 best tight ends in football.
Okay, I like it. I mean, he's on. Hopefully we still have him on our team then. Yeah, All right, we got Jets for life. What's up, man? Welcome to Jet Lounge. Flight plan Packers. What do you think about the game for tomorrow? Jets for life. Unmute your mic.
All right, Justin. Well, he's getting to unmuting his mic. I'm sitting here thinking about the matchups that we have, especially on defense. My big concern, and I know they've played well the last 2 weeks, so I'm hoping it continues. I feel this game's going to come down to Aaron Rodgers versus our safeties. Because if they get that running game going, we know how killer Aaron Rodgers can be in that play action game. So it's really going to take that eye discipline, especially from Whitehead and Joyner back there. So for me, that's the key to this game.
Oh, for sure. They're going to have to be playing with their head on a swivel back there. And, hopefully Joyner has the game like he had 2 weeks ago, where he's in every play. He has those, interception. He had, passes, he defended a couple passes. He was in there. So we need a good game from him. So, Pete got his hand up. Go ahead. And I wanted to get to what he was talking about before.
Just a quick point. I don't care what anybody says. I am never counting Aaron Rodgers out until he's retired, because this man is one of the best quarterbacks ever. And I don't care who's he's throwing to. I know he struggled a little bit, but Green Bay has notoriously started off slow a lot, and they pick it up towards the end of the year. So Aaron Rodgers is a huge concern for us, huge, because he can dissect the defense like crazy, and he's one of the best of all time at doing that. So I just wanted to bring that up. I mean, I'm not taking this game for granted by no stretch. No way. Not with him quarterbacking. That's it.
Yeah, like I said it before, it's still Aaron Rodgers. We're still playing in Lambeau Field. Yeah, it's not, the frozen tundra. It's not Rodgers from, 10 years ago. But he's still the reigning MVP, isn't he? Did he win the MVP last year?
I think so. Yep.
He's still a baller, man. He's got his team at 3-2.
Yeah,
So
he did.
before,
Yeah, he did win that MVP. Yeah, but with the wide receiver that's no longer there.
That is true. That is true.
But he's been great before Devontae Adams.
He's going down.
I just don't think he has the defense. I mean, they're giving up 125 yards per game. They only had one game against Tampa that they stuffed them. The rest of the season, they've averaged to 120. Got the average to 126. So those 3 games, or those last 4 games, whatever it was, those numbers were high as hell. They can't stop a nosebleed when it comes to the rushing game, and that's our strength. So we have to utilize our strengths against their weakness, and it just so happens we kind of jump on that. But that was the same thing I said last week against Miami. Miami was really bad against the pass, and we said, all right, we'll come out against the run. It was like I came out, I was like, what are we doing here? Let's pass the ball. They suck against the pass. So who knows? Maybe the same thing happens here. But real quick, let me Ray's going to come on because Ray's got a little bit of announcement to make, and he's got to get heading out. So go ahead, Ray. Let everybody know about the time slots.
Yeah, thanks, Justin. Hell of a show tonight. I love listening and being up here and chopping up with you guys, all the OGs in here. You know who you are. Tomorrow we have a halftime show. I'll be doing with Tanad right at the half as it starts. It's a quick show. We have a couple segments in there that we're going to do. A new segment called Beat the Buzzer. You get 30 seconds, make your point, and if you don't make your point within 30 seconds, you're out. You're bounced. So that way we can get to everybody, because every halftime show we do seems to go in 4 or 5 minutes, and I hate doing that to you guys. So we're going to be doing that, and then right after the game's over, we'll be doing a post-game show leading up to the Jet Lounge, OG show later on in the night with Sack and those guys. So I look forward to seeing a lot of you guys tomorrow. We'll break it down, and hopefully we take home the dub. Go Jets, guys.
Ray, you the man. Yeah, Ray's got some. That's cool, man, because I know when we're leaving the stadium this past week, actually every week, but especially this past week, I couldn't wait to talk about it. It's like walking back to my car. I'm like, oh man, I wish there was a space going on. And guess what? There is now. Woohoo! It's just cool, coming after a loss. Want to have somebody to cry with. sit here and say, we suck again. Can we talk about it? Or when we win, we get to celebrate with each other. So it's good to have that. And the halftime thing is good too, because not everybody wants to get up and get themselves something to eat. They want to talk about what's going on. So appreciate it, Ray, and thanks for helping me out tonight. So I'm going to a new speaker. We got Michael Elias with his hand up. Go ahead.
Hey guys, Petey was saying how Aaron Rodgers will dissect any defense. I mean, that's true, but with our defense, there isn't much to dissect. It's cover 3. So he knows what's coming at him. It's just us executing, and that's what's going to come down to. So, I mean, reality is he's going to make plays, and we have to stand our ground. Probably play a bend to don't break defense on him, because otherwise he's going to kill us. So, ideally, the rush would get there. That would be the best thing, to be honest. But we'll see how it goes. I really think we're going to pull this out. It's going to be a tough game, though. It's probably 24-21 or something.
Hey, Justin, just to piggyback off Michael, none of us really had spoke about it or whatever. This is going to be a game of execution or whatever, because of the fact of these guys are all friends, and these guys all talk with each other, and obviously there's brothers across from each other or whatever. These guys, they know each other very well. So the team that executes the best, and the team that obviously makes the less mistakes or whatever, that's gonna be big in the game or whatever, because of the fact of they really, really know each other.
Yeah, no, I can't disagree at all. I think that, sorry about that, guys. I had to grab something. Terrence, go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry about that big thing. I'll come back to you.
No problem. I just wanted to piggyback on what Pete and Mike Elias were saying. Again, I said this on my first chance at commenting. I'm at a point as a Jet fan where, what I've seen so far, most situations, the Jets should have a chance to win these games. It's not like last year, but I do not discount Aaron Rodgers, Green Bay playing at home, coming after a loss. But you know what? I've said this many times now, especially in the last week or two. In order for us to get to that 10-7 mark, or what we talked about in the off season, which was when December comes and they're saying in the hunt on the television screen, in order for us to be one of those teams in the hunt or in those top 7 positions, we got to beat teams like this, even though they're not in our conference, but teams like this that in the past have been better than us, in order for us to move up. And so this is why it's a big test. And I think the reward will be, once again, we're going to be excited because we beat a team that traditionally over the last almost 30 years between Rodgers and Brett Favre, has been a perennial winner. Maybe only 2 Super Bowls in that time, but still always a perennial winner. And just the fact that, finally, after so many years, we finally have a team that's competing and basically trucking up W's, and that's just exciting on its own, because just like me, all of you have been watching for so long, and it's just going to be a good feeling to just chalk up another one. That's why I'm optimistic, but I'm not going to be, really. I'm not going to be, to the point where, there's no way in the world we're going to lose. I'll never say that, because all of these teams are, it's Sunday. Anything can happen. But for once, I can say there's enough talent on this team where I could see us winning, and that's what I'm going to be optimistic in that regard.
Yeah, I think we got to be optimistic. It's a good time to be a Jets fan right now. It's it's getting a little brisk out, and we're not talking about who we're drafting. I don't know the last time that's happened. So, but as far as we got to get like I was saying before, against their weaknesses, the weakness is the run game. But we can disguise that. We don't have to give just a run up the middle, give it to Breeze, give it to run pass option, run pass options. We do a lot of tunnel screens and jet sweeps. I think we utilize Braxton on those kind of plays tomorrow. Maybe throw some trickery in there. We're playing against his brother, our offensive coordinator's brother. You might know what he's doing if he's lining up in a certain way. Throw some trickery at him. You might not see Elijah Moore jet sweep in the very next play. Brax line up and do it again. Or Brax lines up and he takes the sweep and now he throws it down to Corey. Do some trickery. Or earn those short screens and to Brax and to Elijah Moore on those plays, those little dump shovel passes and stuff where those guys can get the ball into their hands, Garrett, and utilize it as like a run play against those linebackers who aren't doing great against their running defense today or this year. So, I don't know. Ground and punt, go ahead.
Wow, man, it's a lot more great takes. I think that when you look at what Joe B was saying in his first take about, I don't want to look past Green Bay, but I think I said all I could say about that game. I just flat out expect, at the very bare minimum, an extremely competitive game from the Jets. But I think they're going to win. Is what I think. But going back to Joe B's first take is, I mean, when you talk about if the Jets are going to be buyers or not, and this is not looking past any of the opponents. I respect every opponent that the Jets are going to play, but it's a very deep team. You have good rotation on the defensive line. Both rotations are good. So I think you kind of have to be buyers just because it's very rare that you have so much talent on, rookie contracts. And, this team can just kind of really sneak like almost, I don't want to say like the Bengals last year. I don't want to talk too early, but man, like we're going to have Fant coming back. We're going to have Max Mitchell coming back. We could be one of the deepest, healthier teams, not only just playing competitively in December, but probably being one of the better teams in December. And, the question that just then becomes for me is, when do you extend Douglas? And you got to be the Bears looking at the Jets saying, Christ, who do I peel off of the front office from the Jets, or do I give the Jets 2 or 3 first rounders for a guy like Douglas? Because the way he nailed these last 2 drafts, holy cow, man! Like it's just,
I love it. We're in October talking about instead of drafts.
But Justin, do I
We're
sound
talking about
crazy, bro?
re-signing. I love it. I love it.
Do I sound crazy? Like honestly,
You do.
like,
You do sound crazy. You're a Jets fan. You're talking like this, bro. You sound absolutely insane.
But is Big T, help me out here? You're the fucking most positive guy in the world.
No, I love it. I do. But it's just not what we're used to.
I'm just saying, like, if you get Fant back healthy, you get Max Mitchell back healthy, you get rested players in a 17-week season. I think our team is built. I mean, a 17-week season. I think
with a late bye week. With a late bye week.
I think the team that we have is built for a 17-week season. Man, sounds crazy, but
well, I hope so. They're only 22 years old.
If you are the Jets, if the Bears offered you 2 first rounders for Joe Douglas, you turn it down?
I told them go fuck themselves.
I knew Big T wouldn't trade 40 first rounders for fucking Joe Douglas.
Are you kidding me? This guy's about to turn us into a championship team.
You got to extend them now, bro. You got to extend them now, man. And listen, one other thing. Defense had a space yesterday. He was going nuts, and Petey represented the Jets now better than anybody that you could ever imagine. You got to find a way to make peace with this guy because you know what? We're going to need all the good energy pouring towards the Jets as much as possible.
There's nothing but love coming from this side, buddy. This space is recorded, so
Yes, absolutely.
not even know what's going on. But if you listen to
Dude,
defense, I love you, brother.
PD could talk on it, but this guy was like, coming after Happy Jet, and it's like, come on, man, like,
Yeah,
let's be peaceful, man. We're all everybody's fighting, and it's like we're 3-2. What the fuck are you guys?
Listen, I'm 41 years old, man. I own Netflix and HBO Max, and if I want drama, I turn that shit on. This is for football.
Exactly.
So I appreciate it, man. Tonight was a good show. If anybody wants to come up and be a speaker, give some takes for the Packers game tomorrow, we'll keep the show going a little bit. But I want to look up at the Titantron. I think Titantron, Jumbotron. I want to look at there's something up there. Oh yeah, I want to make the announcement.
But Justin, honestly, man, what do you think? Like, right? Like with Vinny Curry. It's just crazy how like the team is healing. You know what I mean? Like, not too many teams can rest two players like Max Mitchell and George Fant and be getting W's in the meantime. There's just not too many teams that can do that.
The fact that we're that excited about what round draft pick was Max Mitchell?
4th.
All right, we're that excited about a rookie tackle to come back from an injury is saying something for itself. We're only on week 6, so that means we know that we got a good one by week 6. We're waiting for him to come back. So right there, that's another testament for Joe Douglas that by week 6 we're missing guys that were injured that we drafted in the 4th round. The other thing I want to see what happens with Jermaine being out, and we haven't really said it this space. It just popped in my head as we're talking about Max is maybe Clemens could get some more playing time with Jermaine being out and fill that role on that side. I think that's a big spot that needs to be filled this week, and I think maybe he's the guy to do it. What do you guys think?
I agree.
Clemens is a big dude, and I think he had a showing in preseason, and I think he could be up for it. Rusty, what do you think? Give me your take on Michael Clemens playing tomorrow.
I think it would be a great idea. I mean, I think that he's fast and he's vicious, but he doesn't get penalties. And yeah, I mean, he plays with vigor, to say the least. And other teams are scared of him. I mean, I think if you ask which player you're scared of, that would be the guy.
He's a big dude.
He is.
When you go around a bunch of guys that are big guys, and you're like, "Oh yeah, you're a big guy," and that guy walks by, like, "Oh no, that's a big guy." Because we went to the green and white. I sat down next to Anthony. We're sitting there, right, and we're maybe 30 rows up, so we have good seats. It's a scrimmage, so everybody has good seats. But the team walks out, and I'm like, "Oh, they look good shape," and I'm like, "Holy that's Michael Clemens!" Like there was no mistaking who him and Becton were on the field. You know what I mean? There was no mistaking him. He's a beast, and I think he was a steal for us as late as we got him. And this is the time that he is going to shine. Him and Jacob Martin, I think they got to show up on that rotation, being that Curry's up, he's back, Sheldon Rankins, Solomon Thomas. We need the defensive line to get to Rodgers and make him look like the dude from Miami. I don't even know this guy's name. It's horrible. Thomas.
Skyler or something. Yeah.
We also need a good game out of Nathan Tomlinson. He's not living up to that contract yet.
No, we need a solid game from the whole offensive line. Like regardless of who the name on the jersey, we need Zach to just be comfortable back there. And I mean that's every game, but we Herbig. I was trying to have this conversation with somebody who was making excuses the other day. He's from Florida, and he's a Giants fan actually. He moved from here down there, but we're talking about the Jets, and you guys beat a third string quarterback. There comes the excuses, and I'm like, all right, well, we didn't have like our whole offensive line. We pretty much, our starting left tackle and our starting right tackle from the beginning of the season aren't playing. As a matter of fact, their replacements aren't even playing. So I'm like trying to think about, wow, Herbig's playing. Tucker's playing the third different position. Tomlinson, we need the offensive line to have some consistency in who they're playing next to before we can ask them to have a consistent game. They're playing next to different people every damn game. So, I mean, regardless, you got to play your position, worry about who's playing next year. But we saw how guys played when they had Alex Smith next to him, when they had what the hell's it, Van Rotten next to him, and then how their numbers changed when they played next to somebody different. So Tomlinson, I think you're right, though. He is a veteran. He should be able to keep the guy in front of him no matter who the hell is behind him. Him and Dwayne Brown both have been pro ballers, playing the league long enough. But it's scary to think that if we had our starting offensive line and Dwayne Brown as a swing tackle, how good we would be and how much time this guy would have to throw the ball. Our tight ends wouldn't even need them. We'd be like, you know what, go, you run a vertical. Both of you. We got the line. We'll cover. Just get open. I'll throw it up to you. I don't know. Anyway, Robert Sherry, what's up, man? Good to meet you at the tailgate.
Hey, yeah, you too, Justin. I got roped into a haunted trail tonight. Otherwise, I would have been on for earlier. But yeah, the wife.
You know what? Once I'm gonna cut you off, Rob. I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna invite you up to co-host with me, and Rusty too. There we go. We got co-pilots. If you guys want to accept it, that'd be cool.
Thanks, Justin.
Yeah, bring the fans into the cockpit, right? And you guys could be running the show. You'll see how it works with all the don't mute anybody, and on the you can see how people roll through when they request to come up to be a speaker. Maybe
You have to be like Pete and say, "I'm the co-host."
What's that, Rusty?
Is right where I was just saying to Robert that be careful, because when somebody requests to come up and someone gets it to you before, the mute everybody button goes right there.
Well, let's see. Kanad just requested to come on up. So, Robert, go ahead. Pull him on up. Hit the request one. Bring him on up.
I'll let him bring him.
Okay. There you go.
Look at that. We're letting everybody become part of the big chair.
All right.
What's up, Tanad?
What's going on, Justin? Hey, Rusty. What's going on? Hey, Robert, man. I appreciate you coming through. Enjoy being a co-host. What's up, Big TPD? Everybody else. I just had to stop on here, and talk about a few things. Well, Justin, I have a question for you. How do you think we win tomorrow's game?
How do we win?
Yeah.
Well, if it comes, we already showed up, so that's the biggest part. But I think tomorrow we win the game by our offensive line showing up, that we can run the ball down their throat and control the clock like we did with Miami. That ball game was split even with the time, but we also had a lot of big plays that our possessions went down the field real quick with Brees and stuff like that. But I think we control the clock. We run the ball. We go what worked with us last week, and I think at the same time was we utilize the comforts of that Zach has with the getting the ball into his playmakers' hands, like Braxton and Elijah Moore. Get it there fast, let them run, get them break out. I think Elijah Moore has a big game. I think Elijah Moore has a huge game, to be honest with you. And I think our special teams, I wanted to say before, and PD was talking about it, but I think our special teams plays big. I think we get a couple good field goals from good field position from the special teams, like Brax bringing it back and getting 2 first downs and kicking a field goal or 2. I think we win the game. I think it's going to be tough. I did say Green Bay on Monday, but after the week of thinking about it, and then with their injury report with Christian Watson and saying watching some of the highlights from the Giants game, I didn't see the game, but I think it's a winnable game. I think that we're on such a high right now. The team's confident. I think it's going to be rolling. We have some young coaches that are feeling like, wow, we got a division win last week, first one in 13 games or whatever. I think we're on a high right now, and I think we're a force to be reckoned with at this moment. And I think it's going to be a close game. But I think when I say close, I mean we win by 7, 27-20.
So I have it as a close game as well. I think I had it 27-24. I also think the running game is going to be something that is going to help a lot. I could see us rushing the ball a good 35 times tomorrow and take advantage of that. And and these guys going out there to make plays. I I agree with you on Elijah. I think he is going to have a big game. And I do want to see Zach use the middle of the field a little bit more with the other guys, other than Corey Davis, getting the ball down there. I think he needs to be able to use the entire field and not allow Jai Alexander to be able to, shut down that one side of the field and just open it up for himself and his teammates. So, but I do agree we will win tomorrow. Just on, like I said, the way that the team's playing, they're on the high right now. It's a lot of positivity. Certain things we can, we definitely have to fix as far as getting off the field third down. But I see us also taking advantage of Green Bay's O-line. I see that D-line, having a really big game tomorrow. So let's see what happens.
Yeah, one of the things that I also think is that this team is young enough not to go and worry about going into an iconic area. To them, they think they can beat anybody. And that's the way that they need to feel. But I think our old teams wouldn't have felt that way. So I think that's another advantage for us.
Yeah, I agree, Rusty. I think one of the big things, Sanad, you brought up that was Jair Alexander, and what my understanding is Green Bay's been playing a lot of off coverage, and they're going to look to do a lot more bump and run this game. That's why the Giants' no-name receivers kind of ate a little bit against them. So, but I think that's something to watch for tomorrow, and I do think, circling back to Justin's point, that running game is going to be important tomorrow. So, definitely.
And also, Jai is coming back from a hamstring injury from a couple weeks ago. So you gotta check to see if he's really able to lock down that side of the field. We have many playmakers.
Right, because Jair healthy, they could throw him anywhere. He could cover up the slot. I mean, he's that kind of corner. So, that'll be something to watch for sure.
Yeah, the Packers defense, I was saying before, they're ranked 20th in the league in rushing. So we got to take advantage of that when we're only ranked 15th in the league in our rushing defense. But as far as their rushing defense is that we got to attack them, I think we just got to go after their weakness. I don't know. I just think that also takes pressure off of Zach to have to make the big plays because you get 2-3 yards. It's now second and 8. Now it's 3rd and 6. That's manageable. All right, maybe you get bigger. You want 4 yards on a carry, but you're also taking control of the clock. You're keeping their defenders on their heels. The linebackers aren't going to be covering the tight ends when it's a play action because they're looking in the backfield. The safety might be peeking in the backfield. Now that's how you get that big over the top play. And going in the middle of the field, you have Brax, you have Elijah, you have Garrett play anywhere. Corey, I mean, you pick your poison. What do you want to do? We got to pick ours.
Yeah.
Those
RPOs.
Yeah, the RPOs.
Yeah.
Zach is in the statue back there. He can run too. He scored a touchdown last week. Ran it in. 54-yard run last year. I think he's going to change too much who he was because he hurt his knee on preseason. He's still a young guy, wants to run the ball, play football. He's a football player. He's the only guy in the NFL right now with a catching, a receiving touchdown, a running touchdown, and a throwing touchdown. Our guy. So, I don't know. I think it's a winnable game when you got players like that can do all those things, that are athletes that people look at, up to in the league and say, wow, man, that guy's one of the most athletic guys I know. And he's a quarterback. Garrett, that guy's just a freak. Elijah, I mean, you have guys like A.J. Brown and DK Metcalf saying you were the best guy we've ever seen play. It's our guy. Best receiver, best running back coming out of the draft. Our guy. Come on, guys. Zach's got what it takes to win freaking football games. So let's not just say, we're going to Lambeau Field. Oh, yes, one guy we forgot to mention. Tajver Tucker. That could play. You want to be on the Pro Bowl. What position you want to play at, buddy? So we're going to go to Lambeau and lose. Why? Because it's Green Bay? Because it's Aaron Rodgers? Because they had Brett Favre? Because they've won 2 Super Bowls with 2 of the best quarterbacks of the last 25 years?
Hey, we just won at Pittsburgh. We
That's what I'm
won
saying.
at Pittsburgh, so let's keep knocking down those famous stadiums, bro.
Let's go. We'll knock down the stadiums, and you know what? I want to win against the quarterback where we lost against Jackson, we lost against Burrow, we beat Jacoby, we beat Skylar Thompson, whatever. We're beating these guys that were there's an excuse. I'm playing against nobodies. I want to play Aaron Rodgers. I'm sure the excuse will be, he doesn't have Devontae Adams. I'm sure there'll be excuses. But you know what? I'd rather say, it's Aaron Rodgers. They were 3-2. They were at home. We played what was in front of us. You do it. Then, I got to fight this freaking argument for the next 5 weeks. And, this guy wasn't playing for us. That guy, no, we beat the Packers with Aaron Rodgers. That's it. Done. Not like the toolless Dolphins defending that crap. Go ahead, Terrence.
Yeah, just a couple of points. Don't forget the Packers do regarding the offensive line. Don't forget that the Packers do have Rashawn Gary, who's really blossoming into a pass rush specialist. So that's something we do have to worry about in terms of Zach's protection. But somebody was also, it may have been you or it could have been Rusty, about this guy Nate Herbig, who frankly I didn't even know who he was 2 or 3 weeks ago until people started saying, oh yeah, we can move Elijah Vera Tucker around because we feel comfortable. We feel with Nate Herbig at right guard and Elijah Vera Tucker playing one of the tackle positions that we have the best offensive line that we have under the circumstances. So I Googled him. Supposedly a really good college player out of Stanford, but in the combine had such a slow 40 number that he was undrafted, and the Eagles drafted him. He started a couple of games for them before they let him go, and then Joe Douglas comes in and picks him up. Now, I'm not trying to make this guy out to be like, I'm just glad he's a solid backup that's doing the job for us. But just again, wasn't some big free agent that we got, like some guy that Joe Douglas took off the kind of like the scrap heap, maybe with the fourth waiver, back like in May, I think it was, because we were, as the 4th team, we probably had a high waiver pick on that, picked them up and basically, a 24-year-old guard that's at least holding his own, and that's just great. And that way, that allowed us to move AVT to wherever he wanted. And as Ground and Punt was saying, when Font comes back, and then when Max Mitchell comes back, we're just going to have a solid offensive line. And the key to me so far, and let's just hope it keeps going, is when we have had injuries this year, including Zach in the preseason, they haven't been season ending. Everybody was worried about, JJ last week getting carted off after he, when he was on the sidelines. Okay, so he was day to day. Yeah, so he might miss another week or 2, but it wasn't a season-ending injury. So that way, in a couple of weeks, he'll be back, still learning how to, play edge, at the NFL and still getting better. And also, Max Mitchell, that was probably the most serious injury, in terms of a dislocated knee, but he'll be back in maybe the middle of November so far, thankfully, we've been injury free, and I just want that to keep going. But as Ground and Punt was saying, it's just going to be, if we can stay injury free and get back, some of this line and have this solid depth, that's going to be key, as the season goes on, But I just wanted to point out the Rashawn Gary. We have to watch out for him on Green Bay's defense. And I think somebody mentioned earlier, Jair Alexander is a very premium corner. But at the same time, we got 3 pretty good wide receivers, plus plus a tight end, plus, as we showed last week, a couple of running backs that can catch the ball out of the backfield. So, Yeah, I'm sure. I don't think it's going to be easy, but I do think, unlike in the most recent years that we've had, we just have some talent now, and it's just a matter of Zach finding the open guy when it's in passing situations. And I also think, as I said earlier, that focus some on the run early on, so that way in the third and fourth quarter, some of those running plays. Like against Pittsburgh, like the last two plays where we won. Basically, we just gave it to Brees and we just pushed him out of the way, and Brees got the touchdown.
For what it's worth, with Herbig, I sit in section 128, about 12 rows from the field, and I was there for warm-ups. And for whatever it's worth, I'm not an NFL scout. I've watched too much football, more than I'd like to admit. But Herbig was by far the most physical lineman warming up. He warmed up first against Solomon Thomas, and he got off the snap and shoved him back. And they looked close in size, but Herbig was by far the most physical lineman in that drill that they were in the warm-ups. They were doing the sideline, for whatever that's worth, guys. But
yeah, Herbig was good in Philly. I don't know what made them get rid of him, but I thought he was a solid lineman.
They have a great line, I guess, and they felt, and I think I was just on Wikipedia earlier this week because I just wanted to know who he was, because I didn't know his name didn't come off the page. I thought like maybe he was a veteran of 10 years for some team I wasn't following, and it turns out he's just a young guy, 24, 25-year-old.
Yeah.
But he did start for Philadelphia for a couple of games, and I guess they just felt like they could get rid of somebody because they were so solid in the line, and it's just to our benefit. Again, I don't think when everybody gets back, AVT is probably going to be that right guard. But it's good to know we got this guy that as depth. Somebody gets hurt during the game and they can't return for that game. Somebody can step in, and the line can hold.
Yeah, like it's nice to have that GM that we're just getting starting linemen on our team that nobody wanted, and we have these injuries, and he all of a sudden pulls them out of nowhere. Morgan Moses last year, LVT last year, George Font comes over, he's playing both sides. I mean, he gets hurt now. His replacement's up, Nate Herbig. Who else we're talking about here? I mean, he's got Max Mitchell. It's just like Dwayne Brown. This guy's just like finding all the best he can find who's out there, and finding some of the diamonds out there in the rough. And I think he's pretty doing a damn good job of saying that his way of doing things and being open to the fans of how he's doing things, and he's kind of following his mantra all the time. You got to be close to the ball and good at it to win the game, and that's his defensive line. He's got two teams pretty much playing the defensive line a game. And his offensive line, who he's just constantly, get building, get the guy in the draft, get this guy in a trade, pick this up guy's, hurt, get a replacement. And his other thing is speed. He goes out and gets, guys that are pretty quick, man. Even drafting the guy like Denzel Mims. I mean, we talk about how he's not the guy we're talking about when we talk guys like, re-signing guys like Braxton and Elijah Moore and those type of fast, shifty, speedy guys, Brees. But Denzel Mims ran pretty damn fast 42, and he was a more, straight, bullet down the seam, open bailer type of receiver. But that's where his whole game was: beat your guy up with speed. So he's been utilizing his mantra for getting to the ball with offensive linemen to making sure that depth protects his quarterbacks. He saw that it wasn't done with the previous regime, and that's what killed the guy's career, and he didn't want to go down with that again. So build a team. What was the quote that he said from Ozzy? It was a luxury today is a necessity tomorrow, whatever it is.
Yeah,
that's what he's doing with these offensive linemen.
Hey,
we get off.
Think about it.
I'm sorry, Rusty. Rusty, I actually wanted to ask you a question, if that's all right. Just I don't mean to cut you.
No, go ahead.
The reason why I have a question for Rusty is because she's normally really good with these offensive line questions, and anybody who can, I think this would also be maybe a good question for Joe B. By the way, Tanad, good evening. Good to see you in here today, and some more familiar faces that just jumped on. recently from the beginning of the show. Hello, Chris. Good to see you as well. Question is, in the game that I saw last week, you really saw, Dwayne Brown really being a hero. You saw a guy really playing at like 70%. Any news on him? Like, has he had any setbacks?
I have that he has any setbacks. There's nothing on the injury report other than, his normal. And he's determined to play. I mean, he really is. And as good as he played last time, I'm impressed, because somebody coming back from that kind of injury, that's pretty amazing. And holding
Plus he's 37, right?
Yeah. So, but one of the things I was going to even mention is the fact is how many teams could lose 4 offensive tackles and still field a line that was able to function.
That's exactly what I was trying to say before in my other take. I was like, man, can you imagine, getting into week 12 and 13, we get Mitchell and Fant healthy. I mean, who the hell knows what could happen with this team? Who the hell knows?
Yeah, I mean, what Joe Douglas has built and the way he's managed to find talent when he needs it is just outstanding.
Yeah, that was what I was saying. And like, it's a great point though. I was trying to say that I think maybe even on a Monday, that if we had all of our guys, how dangerous our offense would be. And think about the first 3 games. Zach, we didn't have a quarterback.
Yeah.
We've only played 5.
But we still won one of those games.
Mm-hmm. I'll take it. Thanks, Joe. But let's go to Chris. Get his hand up. Go ahead, Chris. Welcome to the Jet Lounge tonight, man.
Hey, good evening. How's everybody doing? Can you hear me okay? I might be in the matrix, and if I am, I'm going to keep it real short and sweet, and then drop down and come back up.
We got you.
First thing I'd like to touch upon was, I think, thank you, was something that Terrence was commenting on, Nate Herbig. And one of the things about Nate Herbig, I think one of the observations that came to my mind is the familiarity that Joe Douglas has with them. And it seems to be another one of those additions that the Jets have made. I would probably say, off the top of my head, Quan Alexander also, previous relationship with either the GM or the coaching staff. And if I'm not mistaken, Jordan Whitehead. So those are those previous relationships that the GM and the coach have with some of our additions seem to be paying off big time. The other thing is there was a comment about Nate Herbig, and listening to a number of Green Bay stuff this week. That was one of the observations that they had was Nate Herbig's nastiness, especially in the run game. And then I actually heard something that was interesting. And it was actually about the possibility of, even when Fant and Mitchell possibly come back, if the offensive line seems to have that continuity, the possibility of Elijah Vera Tucker staying at right tackle.
I think that they're all going to take a page.
If anybody wants to go.
I think that if they take a page and look at this second-year rookie as the leader, maybe they can learn something from him to see that if your coach thinks that you're capable of playing another position, do your damn best to make it happen, and you're going to win games. So, I don't know. I think that the cohesiveness will happen at practice. It's got to happen throughout the week for our coaching staff to just be like, let's go out there and see what we got. But, hey, they've done it. I didn't hear anything about Elijah Vera Tucker playing left tackle. All of a sudden, game day, he's out there. We're hearing this news all week. We had spaces all damn week. Didn't talk once about that. Didn't hear nothing about it. We have ears on the, at the practices, eyes there all the time. All of us, between the Twitter people, all the reporters, and people that we know, that you guys all know. Who the hell knew he was playing left tackle? So who knows if these guys come back? There's that joke, that Robert Saleh or Michael Ford be like, hey, Max Mitchell, you were gonna play right today, and that's where he's at. We just gotta keep our fingers crossed that they're doing their job, and that we trust our coaching staff to put these guys out there. I think that if you're rolling winning games with the guys you have out there, and these guys come back, you better beat them out of practice. You better earn your spot at this point. These guys are winning games. I don't care how much you're making. If you're freaking beating the Packers, and then you're beating the Broncos, and then you're beating this guy, and now you're looking at 6, 7, 8, and 2. Oh, sorry, man, but you were brought here as a rookie. You can chill. You were brought here as a backup swing tackle. You can chill. You're getting paid good money. If it's working. If it's not, and you can see improvement, and at practice during the week, the coach says, nah, he's better. And he plays. Kenny's up in here. I got Kenny coming up. He's connecting. Kenny's out there, and speaking of having our feet on the ground, and speaking of having our feet on the ground, we have our trooper out there in good old Green Bay, Wisconsin. Kenny, what's up, buddy? How's the weather out there? Is it looking green?
It's about 30,
Jet
35, 40 degrees. Just got done with dinner a little while ago. Heading out to the casino with my brother, my son, and my nephew. We're having a lot of fun. You guys got to do a trip one day. Staying with the team. Spoke to a few guys here and there. A lot of good stuff. So a lot of good stuff.
Man. Yeah, man. Have some cheese for us, man. If you're gonna go out to dinner, eat some cheese.
No, no. We want Italian. All right. You can take me.
I get
You
plenty
can
of cheese.
take me out of New York, but you're not changing my diet. All right. So,
how was it?
Wasn't bad. Actually, had dinner with Marty Lyons. Had dinner with.
Oh, he was out. You got to meet him. That's cool.
Yeah. I know
So you met
Marty.
up with you met up with JFM's agent.
Yeah. I seen the guy seen my Jet Lounge shirt. We started talking, and he brought up the event.
Dude.
Yeah, he brought up the event down in Tom's River, but all good stuff. Nice town. Nice little town. It is. So.
Good stuff. I'm glad you have. Who's out there with you, Kenny?
My brother, my son, and my nephew.
How you doing?
It's my brother Ronnie in the background here.
We're representing
What's
the
up,
Jet
Ronnie?
Lounge. What's up, guys? We're representing the Jet Lounge in Wisconsin.
Let's go.
All right? Take these out.
I love it, guys.
Can we get a Jets chant?
Tomorrow, we'll set some pictures from Lambeau. I'll tweet them out.
All right, Kenny, enjoy yourselves and be safe. All right, guys.
Thank you. Got it, guys. All right. Have a good night.
Let's go.
Just wanted to check in quick.
J-E-T-S.
Ready on the count of 3? Ready, guys? Jet chant. You ready?
Do it. Let's go.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. J-E-T-S.
I love it. I love it. Kenny, enjoy yourselves, guys. Bring home that W. It'll be a nice plane ride home.
Go Yankees.
All right. It's going to be a good night, T-Rock. It'll be a good weekend, man. Love it. But listen, guys, it's been fun. But I'm going to close it out. Got some shit I got to take care of early in the morning. And I'm, I can't stay up too late. I'm old, 1. And 2, if I stay up too late, then the game, I go to bed so the game gets here quicker. All right. I'm not going to lie to you guys. All right. One more sleep.
Are you going to the game, Justin?
Am I going to the game? No, I'm going to my garage and watching in the man cave.
Okay.
No, I won't be at the bar. Zach will be up at the bar with Crystal, I believe, up in Staten Island.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, so they'll be up there. Kenny's at the game. Everybody else will probably be doing what they, maybe hanging out with their friends or whatever. But yeah, so I'll be here, and I'll be at the Patriots game. That's the next home game. I'll be at that one though.
Okay.
And next week I might be in the bar in Staten Island too. So if somebody wants to come up to Staten Island, hang out with me in the bar, let me know. So, all right, guys, have a great night. Tomorrow we go to 4-2. Let's root for the Giants, and let's root for the Kansas City Chiefs. Help us get some seeding in the AFC and seeding in the AFC East. Go ahead, Rusty.
I'm a big fan of Kansas City.
Hey, Justin. Let's not
Yeah.
forget the Vikings. We
Why?
can root for the Vikings too.
They play the Dolphins.
Since Miami
Okay.
is the yeah, I mean the Dolphins. A lot of Dolphins fans don't think so. They still think that they're playing us this Sunday, which hey, don't tell anybody.
Well, Zach did his gritty, so now it's time for them to get the original OG gritty. All right, you guys have a great night, and I just want to thank Rusty and Rob, our special co-hosts up here in the co-pilot. We're bringing you guys down for a nice safe landing, thanks to my co-pilot.
Yeah, thanks, Justin.
Thanks. Anytime.
I appreciate you guys. Hope it was fun for everybody, and love you guys, and we'll talk soon.
Go Jets.
Go Jets.
Good night, Russ. Thank you, Robert.
Good night, y'all.
Night.
Hope you out tomorrow.
Night.